Hi, my name is Mary Zupke. I'm a registered dietitian here at Northwestern Medicine, and today we're here at the Delnor Community Kitchen and we're cooking artichokes. Artichokes are a very healthy vegetable. Usually you would see people eating them plain where they have been steamed and you take the leaf off, and sometimes you would dip them in butter, so they're not considered a super healthy food, but actually that artichoke part, this is the heart of the artichoke. The artichoke itself is a vegetable that's very low in fat, and it has about 8 grams of fiber per cup. So it's a wonderful vegetable to include very well into the plant-based diet. And this is the heart, so you can see this is the most tender part of the artichoke. This part, even though it is the middle of the artichoke, it's still a little bit leafy, so I like to chop it up really small, but you can use it in a lot of different recipes, and we're going to try some of those today. The first one is an artichoke dip. So a lot of us are familiar with spinach artichoke dip, and that's usually really high in calories. And the reason is because it's using sour cream, a lot of high saturated cream cheese, saturated fats. We want to use today, here's a little bit of a secret ingredient, the low-fat cottage cheese. I like to use the 1%. The no-fat cottage cheese sometimes doesn't give you the satiety that the 1% would, but it still will have probably 1/4 of the fat and also half the calories. So it's a great way to make a dip. So what I've done is I like to put the canned artichokes in water. The oil are okay too, but they're just going to have a little bit more calories. If they're in olive oil, they're still going to have that healthy plant-based oil, part of the Mediterranean plan. So I put the artichokes in the food processor first so that they would get nice and chopped up and nice and small, so you won't have big chunks in there. And then we're going to add our cottage cheese, and I usually just use the whole container of cottage cheese. And, you know, sometimes people are concerned because they think, well, the cottage cheese isn't going to be a good dip substitute because it has those curds in it. But once you put it through the food processor, you really can't notice it. And all the kids in our family have really enjoyed it. So we're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to that. And then today we're going to use a little bit of red pepper to give it some spice. Now you can leave the red pepper out if you don't want a lot of spice. I kind of like it to have a little bit of zip. And then we're going to put a little bit of garlic powder as well. Just going to give it a little bit. I would rather use the garlic powder, which is lower in sodium, instead of the garlic salt. There's already some salt in the Parmesan cheese, so we're going to use that for today. So we're just going to blend that together quickly. And there you have it. We're going to take the, you know, there might be a few remnants on the outside of the food processor, so you might want to blend it up just a couple of times. And then today, because we are making the spinach artichoke dip, we're going to add our spinach. Now what I did with this spinach was just warm it up in a nonstick pan and let it, I used the fresh spinach, but you just let it wilt down for a little bit. And then I like it when you do put a cracker or maybe a whole grain tortilla chip in your dip. I like it so that you don't have a big stringy spinach. So we're going to put that in the food processor and blend that together as well. All right. So there is our spinach artichoke dip, and we're going to take it out and we're going to put it in a casserole dish. Now there are a couple ways that you can make the spinach artichoke dip. You can just have it plain like this with crackers, like I said, nice whole grain cracker or maybe a baguette that you've toasted, or you can heat it up. And when you are heating it up, I like to add a little bit of low-fat mozzarella. Still part of the Mediterranean plan where we're having the low-fat dairy. And the low-fat mozzarella is not going to add a lot of saturated fat to that. So we're just going to add that to the top. And you can see that you have already a beautiful dip here. We're going to add that. Beautiful. And then we're going to add a little bit of fresh parsley just to add a nice little garnish to that. And you can go ahead and eat that cold, or you can heat it up like I said. With the cottage cheese, it's a little bit different than the cream cheese. So it's not a dip that you're going to have sitting around for a long period of time. There's a little bit more of a water content. So you want to make sure to serve it pretty close to the time that you'll be eating it. And then it'll be delicious. The next recipe we're going to make is an artichoke bruschetta. We have a baguette here that we have toasted and has some olive oil on it, which is part of our Mediterranean plan. You can get a multi-grain baguette. So today they didn't have it available, so we're using this, but you still are getting a lot of good fiber from the other parts of this hors d'oeuvre. So we're going to start out with these beautiful cherry tomatoes, and we're going to add up our artichokes. As I said before, I like to have them in smaller bites so that it doesn't taste leafy. So we have these chopped up already, and they do have a little bit of a sweet taste to them, and this part, the actual small part of the heart, is very delicious. It's quite a delectable treat. So we're going to add all those artichoke chopped pieces in, and then we're going to add some garlic. And this bruschetta, usually you have bruschetta and you make it with tomatoes and possibly cucumber, maybe onion. We're going to make it with artichoke this time. We have our green onion that we're going to be adding. And then we did some toasted pine nuts. Again, that's going to add a little bit of protein to your bruschetta. And if you toast it, it brings out all the delicious flavors. We have a little bit of herbe de Provence and also a little bit of oregano to give it that Italian flair. And then we're going to add our olive oil just to coat, and then we have some mozzarella cheese to add to this bruschetta. So with the cheese, and then I'm going to garnish with this beautiful parsley in just a minute. So you can tell that it's primarily vegetable based, and it has a little bit of mozzarella, so you can either serve this cold or you can heat it up for 3 to 5 minutes in the oven, and it's delicious warm as well. You get all that cheese melting together with the Mediterranean olive oil and the tomatoes and the green onions. It's just delicious. The pine nuts give a little bit of sweetness as well. So there you have it. You can top that right on top of your bread and have a beautiful appetizer. And there again, you're getting that Mediterranean feel again. How delicious. Once we have the tomato bruschetta and artichoke bruschetta on here, we're going to top it with our parsley. And you would do that after you bake it. So if you do the warm version, just add the parsley fresh at the end, and then it'll give it a nice little fresh feeling to it. Parsley's been known to kind of help digestion, and it gives you that fresh breath that you're looking for too sometimes at the end of the meal. So we're going to add that parsley. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? And that is the artichoke bruschetta. The last recipe we're going to make with artichokes, and I did just use the canned artichokes throughout. You can do fresh if you want, but it does take a little bit of preparation, as I mentioned. So the canned ones are nice, and I do like the canned in water. So next, I wanted to show you here an artichoke spinach frittata. So what we did here is sauteed the spinach and the onions and the garlic, and then once those are nice and soft in this nonstick pan, you'll add your 6 eggs and a little bit of skim milk and a little bit of cheese, and then you put it in the oven, the whole pan, for 20-25 minutes. Once it comes out, it's nice and formed like this and makes a beautiful breakfast or even breakfast for dinner. So that's the last artichoke recipe that we have. We have the artichoke bruschetta, we have the spinach artichoke dip, and then the artichoke frittata. I hope you enjoy these artichoke recipes. Have a great day.
Ray. Ray lives on a farm. He loves playing kickball with his grandkids, but lately he's gotten a little slower and been visiting the doctor a lot more often. This is Kim. Kim lives in the city. She loves to exercise, cook healthy meals, and can't remember the last time she called in sick. They're both people, but not all people are the same. And yet, when we visit the doctor, our treatments don't look that different. Why is that? Because we just don't have enough information to do it better, until now. Enter all of us, the research program based on precision medicine. Precision medicine is a revolutionary new approach to treating and preventing disease that's personalized instead of one size fits all. By gathering health data from 1 million people like Ray and Kim and Trevor and Samir, our country's best researchers will be able to develop treatments that are as unique and complex as we are. With this new information, doctors will have a better understanding of disease so they can innovate the next great breakthroughs in medicine. Once enough people join, suddenly everything changes. Information becomes clear, patterns emerge, and simple data transforms into life-saving knowledge. This means that Ray and Kim's children and their children's children can live longer, healthier lives. By becoming one of the first 1 million people to volunteer, you can help reshape the entire future of healthcare for generations to come. If we can figure out how to fly, put a man on the moon, and connect the entire world, surely we should be able to improve the future of healthcare. Not just for Ray and Kim or even you, but for all of us. Sign up at joinallofus.org. The future of health begins with you.